on the
One
phone.
thing that Gen Z clearly outdid the Millennials on is their slang, because just like high school, Millennials also blundered the language on more than one occasion, coining such
Hey, I'll
terrible
give y'all
terms.
that credit. I'll give the Millennials their credit. They started that. But we pioneered and reversed it, innovated it, and made it better.
Here's some Gen Z slang you hear all the time, which I will now translate in case it's not clocking to you. Let him cook. He's
That
in
was
the
one
process.
in itself. Let him cook. He's in the process of doing something. Well, that isn't cooking.
Shit
Yep.
slaps. It's really good.
It's really good.
Fire.
Yeah.
It's really,
Really
good.
good.
It's different.
It's
It's
different.
really
It's-
good. Bussin'. It's really good. Gas. It's really good. No cap. For real. On God. For real.
No,
True.
bro, he got
For
this on
real.
the-
Facts. For real.
For real.
Deadass. For
Deadass.
real.
For real.
For real. For real. For real.
Hey, he cooked. He cooked. The nigga cooked. I can't even lie. He cooked. He cooked. He cooked. Well. We are back again. This is number 3 in the series of tonight's show. Once again, it is me. It is the man, GitzCuddy, and we are unhinged tonight. What's poppin'? Now tonight, once again, this is number 3. I just did the Shadow versus Sonic in the movie, and then I just reacted to Dante talking about you're too old to have fun in 2026. I think that those you guys will enjoy those as well, so go ahead and watch them. They up there, they got bangers, and they got plenty of knowledge and examples in those as well. Now let's go ahead and see. Tonight we are looking at Casually Explained, Gen Z versus Millennials. This is gonna be a heavy hitter for me. I've been waiting for this one for a long time. It's just been in the list, but I'm getting to it now. I definitely was like, you know what, I need to touch base on this one right quick because me personally, I am a Gen Z. I was born 99, but majority of my family is Millennials and above. So let's see what Casually Explained is going to put us in perspective on what Gen Z versus Millennials and the things that we differ or maybe the same about.
This video is sponsored by Incogni. When someone says they were born in the year 2002, I automatically think, damn, this is the oldest looking 6-year-old I've ever seen. Well, I won't be using that one when they ask me about the island. I was born in 1996, making me just barely a millennial, meaning I'm somewhat of an expert on my older cohort who thinks doggo, pupper, adulting, and having an actual wedding to a real person they love is still a thing, while also being able to tell Gen Z that making fun of us for skinny jeans doesn't do anything. We inherited housing prices and 3 financial crises from the baby boomers. You will not even remotely psychologically affect us. You will not even remotely psychologically affect most of us. The first thing we have to do is obviously define the generations, which in the textbook is
he lost his
1981
mind.
to 1996 for millennials and 1997 to 2012 for Gen Z. Problem is it can be hard to tell when you're kinda in the middle because to the outside observer, Gen Z might look a lot older than they are on account of all the Botox and filler, whereas millennials look a lot younger than they are on account of all the Botox and filler. Meaning
That shit is crazy AF, bro, because it really does be like this, like doing all the work. Like, bro, do you know, like, nigga, when it was my senior year of college, and you know that there was no, I think she was like, I don't know, like 20. This bitch got a BBL at 20, and like, and the girls in the class were like, oh my god, like, she's not even like fully done aging and maturing. Her body's gonna change, and this is a deadly procedure. Like, you think she give a fuck about that? She don't care. She can afford it. She going to go get that shit. But you know, let people do what they do. That's none of my business.
you have to look at behavioral cues to tell the difference. Because us millennials are trying
Yep.
so hard to cling on to our youth, we're in fact only differentiable from Gen Z by 3 things: ankle socks, hairlines, and when a DJ says, put your hands up, we do it with an open palm, whereas Gen Z does it with a closed palm. Gen Z does this because you automatically close your hand when you associate with dropping down to the floor, whereas millennials raise an open palm because we don't think Black Lives Matter. While it might
That's not funny. But I see the angle he's taking. That was a clever joke.
sound like I'm here representing my fellow millennials, I did only squeak in there by 1 year, and there are some millennialisms that are too ancient even for me. Take for example answering the phone. Why? Similarly, Gen X still texts like they have an old school brick phone, meaning all of their messages are like, yo, bring drinks, see you at 5, sunglasses
Cool.
emoji.
Straight to the point.
Which is at least chill and straight to the point. Millennials, in contrast, have all evolved the 2-thumb texting technique, meaning they're able to send you a single paragraph long text like it's an email that you avoid opening at all costs until you really have to respond. Gen Z,
Right.
on the other hand, sends multiple messages to indicate punctuation or a different thought, usually ending it with a
Yeah, it's
skull
bro like
emoji to tell you
segmented.
they've died and will no longer be texting you back. If you're a smug elder millennial who's like, why does my younger sibling send 4 messages back to back when they could have just typed it in one message? That shit is so annoying. First of
Because a typical Gen Zer is going to be like, oh, you're sending a big ass message, holy essay looking ass.
all, if you're annoyed because you have your phone on vibrate when I'm texting you, you can stick it up your ass. Second, if you looked at literacy
My phone also
statistics
stays on
recently,
vibrate.
Gen Z doesn't know how to read, so they don't know how to punctuate in the first place. And lastly, multiple messages is clearly the superior form of texting.
Bro, I just got a new bike and about to hit the park for birding a natty one. Retirement has come early. What do you think of eBird? I guess it's alright. How many species have you seen? It's on the site. On site, pop, natty wine, a flush with tannin. I feel like this is like, don't need a gap when you got the Canon. I have a mirrorless camera. It doesn't make the shutter sound. Yeah, but did you get the lyrics?
Anyone except your
Niggas
boss,
not even
because it
worried
allows
about
you to
that.
better punctuate your rap battles with the homies. If you think about it, line breaks are literally poetry. When it comes to socializing and how you like to have a good time, millennials and Gen X are notorious alcoholics, but Gen X also does cocaine and millennials instead do weed. Gen X are alcoholics on cocaine because it was the rock and roll culture of the time, whereas millennials are alcoholics and smoke weed because they all have anxiety and need to self-medicate in order to socialize. Gen Z, on the other hand, was very gently parented, don't even pretend they'll ever own a home, and never socialize publicly, so they just take Tren, Zins, and Goon for dopamine.
Let's see. Yeah, this is pretty much why this is part of the reason why a lot of people will say that it's difficult to make friends and social connections is because that this is their typical life right here. You got Google, it says Alabama housing prices because it's dumbass cheap down there, but who the hell wants to live there, right? So you're just looking at a curiosity, like, because like he said, you're imagining that you will ever own a home because niggas need $1 million and can get outbidded by somebody with $2 million. Looking at what's it called, bodybuilding and gains, because it's just like, oh bro, let me get ripped. But you see, he needs T treatments right here because he is beating too many all of his organs off into the toilet. So and he's on the
One
phone.
thing that Gen Z clearly outdid the millennials on is their slang, because just like high school, millennials also blundered the language on more than one occasion, coining such
Hey,
terrible
I'll give y'all
terms.
that credit. I'll give the millennials their credit. They started that. But we pioneered and reversed it, innovated it, and made it better.
The
to some
phrase
degree.
as doggo, adulting, epic win, on fleek, it's lit fam, swag, I can't even.
This is ours. This is ours. This we started getting this is like our starter pack right here, swag. Epic win and swag are like our starter pack for Gen Z.
I did a thing, and calling any type of knowledge.
Well, if you're on the beginning half, he did say that Gen Z is all the way from 97 to 2012.
Hacks. In contrast, Gen Z slang had a stranglehold on our broader vocabularies right away. For example, here's some Gen Z slang you hear all the time, which I will now translate in case it's not clocking to you. Let him cook. He's
That
in
was
the
the one
process
in itself. Let him cook. He's in the process of doing something. Well, that isn't cooking. So don't interrupt him.
of doing something well that isn't cooking, so don't interrupt him. She ate. She looked good or did something well that isn't eating. Riz. Charismatically flirting. Crash out.
Absolutely.
Mental breakdown. Shit
Yep.
slaps. It's really good.
It's really good.
Fire.
Yeah.
It's really,
Really
good.
good.
It's different. It's
different.
really
It's-
good. Bussin'. It's really good. Gas. It's really good. No cap. For real. On God. For real.
No,
True.
bro, he got
for
this on
real. Facts. For
Facts.
real.
For
Dead ass. For
Deadass.
real.
For real.
For real. For real. For real. One thing that older
Nah,
millennials
he-
have a terrible take on
Hey, he cooked. He cooked. The nigga cooked. I can't even lie. He cooked. He cooked. He cooked.
is that Gen Z has bad fashion. Gen Z has great fashion, especially compared to us millennials at the same age. Besides, when
Yeah,
most
y'all suck.
millennials were teenagers, social media hadn't been invented yet.
Y'all walk so we could run.
So instead of growing up trying to imitate the most liked Instagram trend, we had peace, contentment, and mixed and matched our clothing like a hand-me-down buffet exactly to our own taste. We didn't dress to
And seeing
impress,
exactly
we dressed
what you
to
wanted.
express. Our deep culture
I am glad that y'all was more like that because now that's not only is it within the clothes, it also is in people's personality. Like, no, everybody is copy and paste. Like, so many people, I was just like, I feel like you have a subset of archetypes, and it's like doing homework when you got to question one A, B, C. Like we got like a subset of those for everything now. Like there's not like a lot of diversity with stuff. It's just like you got to figure out which type are they, and then which version of that type they are. Like it's like, bro, it's like no, nothing new. Everything is the fucking same
Control anxiety and fear of bothering our
in a
parents in
different
case the
font.
baby boomers got mad at us, which they pretty much always were. You might not like it, but this was peak millennial fashion. To prove that Gen Z has better fashion than millennials, in today's social media, it's common for an influencer to be chatting up girls on the street like, yo, you're so pretty, can I get your number? And she's like, I'm 16. And the guy's like, oh my god, you can't be 16. What? I gotta get out of here, chat. Back in my day, you already know they were 16 because we were all ugly. Furthermore, Gen Alpha now thinks that point-and-shoot digital cameras
That's
give
fair.
a cool vintage.
That's actually kind of a good move right there. He said that you would know because they don't look like it's not like these young folks, these youngsters on media now that's like 14, 15, 16, and then they're doing like the styles that 20s and 30-year-olds is doing because some people be looking grown. You can clearly tell though, the difference now is that you'll be like, look at their skill level of how they're doing this shit, and then also look at some of their other features. Like you can tell a lot of time in people's eyes their age or their maturity level because if they got too much shimmer in their eyes, like nigga, yeah, they're definitely you're good. Don't even worry about or wonder if that's a good option because it's probably not.
Look, meaning guess what? Low-rise bedazzled jeans are getting thrifted, and American Apparel hoodies are right around the corner. We are so back, baby. At the end of the day, ask most millennials, and we sort of feel we grew up in the best era to be kids, but the worst era to be adults. Gen Z, on the other hand, just thinks, wait, things were actually good? As an example, when someone says make America great again, Gen Z thinks you can't make something great again if it was always trash. But baby boomers think, I remember when me and Steve worked for Chrysler and Detroit was the richest city in the whole world. I bought a house for me, my wife, and my 8 brothers and sisters back when we were 23.
23 working part-time at the local grocery store, and I could afford for all of us to have full outfits for new school and a new car and all the groceries galore. Yeah, nigga, I already know what they're going for this
But millennials here make America great again and think, remember the first 150 Pokemon? The Sega Genesis, Rock Band, growing up without a cell phone. When you
Bro, Gen 1 is no, it's literally not, bro. Stop.
You made YouTube videos just for fun, getting free malware on LimeWire, using an iPod Touch to pretend to drink beer. How people would say, too soon. After you made a 9/11 joke, remember how badly we fucked up our teenage years, but it didn't matter because we had no social media? Remember smog? As I was reading this, I got nostalgic and remembered some more things, so I redid the video so I could keep.
I'm dead. But look, bro, this is another thing that I was gonna take at, but I don't think he's gonna get into because we're practically at the last quarter here. If you have the situation where, like how I said, I'm Gen Z, but a lot of my reference points come from millennials and Generation X and so on, you have a little bit of this like middle ground where you get the best of both worlds. But I can definitely appreciate the things that we missed out on because it's like the quality of music that we have now, like it's still fun, but it's not like it's like a dime a dozen, my nigga. Like it don't matter. Like I don't know if I just used that right. Let me just reverse that. You niggas did not hear that shit. But it's just like you can press shuffle on a modern playlist and not know when the song changed or if it's a different artist. Back then, you would know it's timeless. There's a lot of timeless stuff that came from the 90s and earlier 2000s and possibly the 80s even because you get to hear all that stuff when you have older folks around, but when you got more of a younger family you don't get to touch on that too much. You know what I'm saying? You get where I'm going with this. You get exposed to a lot more, a wider range of things when you have a wider range of age within your family. At a certain point I was the youngest, but then there's kids that follow after, and they're gonna have an even wider range of reference points because they got the stuff that they would like to pull from the older generations as well as the new stuff that they're getting and what they'll get going so forth. So on and so forth. There we go. Let me word that properly.
Keep going. Remember Deltora Quest? Ordering things from the Scholastic Book Fair? The Bermuda Triangle?
The book fair, bro. Kindergarten to sixth grade, 2005 to 2012, nigga. Book fair. Niggas used to get the books with the cheat codes in it, the dinosaur drawing books. What else we got in there? Like, niggas is not reading. We're not at the bookstore for actually reading books. We're at the for fun books like drawing and video game hacks, all that stuff. The cool stuff, the good stuff. And they would sell out fast, and it would be the most expensive. There would be a couple years we cannot get those.
Remember burning a CD? Remember CD
Yep.
drives in the first place? Remember when DLC was just another game called an expansion pack? Remember rewinding a VHS before you returned it to Blockbuster?
Oh my gosh.
I remember.
Those were my
Anyway,
earliest,
us millennials are going to go
earliest
stare
days.
at the Winamp visualizer
So
for a while.
not too much.
You guys
but
can talk amongst
bro,
yourselves.
that
Now, unlike me and most
or memory unlocked. Look at us, nigga.
of the people I know who can't remember anything, nearly everything that you've done
That's
online is
crazy.
remembered forever somewhere, which is why you should consider today's sponsor, Incogni. As we both know, your online activity is not just stored forever between the two of us.
Yeah, this is an ad. Okay. This is where the ad ends. Yeah. I'm sorry. I gotta
Like
get rid of that.
whitepages.com
I
or
don't like
online
ads of Gen
databases
Z.
you'd rather it not be in, you're able to submit a URL to the Incogni team who will work to remove your personal information from eligible sites. Keep in mind, if you made a cringe Reddit post years ago or robbed a bank, it doesn't work on that. You have to live with your mistakes on that one. If you'd like to give Incogni a try, use the code CASUALLY at the link in the description and save 60% off an annual plan.
And that's it. Yeah, man. You got Gen Z, you got Millennials. There's plenty others. We got the future. But I think, honestly, Gen Z and Millennials, we share the best bulk of the human experience, if you ask me. We got the craziest technology. I mean, they're going to have the crazier technology in the future, but it's going to be invasive to the point where you start getting cyborg effect and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like to be me. I like my pieces, and my pieces work well. You feel me? See? Everything works. I just had to check. But that's all I got, man. I'm going to catch y'all next time, bro. And this was for this 3-piece. So, whenever we meet again, and I'll see y'all next time, bro. Peace.